the voice of the Eagles, Merrill Reese, who joins us right now as he does every Monday, a Merrill Monday, as the Eagles move to 6-2 heading into the bye. Good morning, Merrill.
Morning, guys. What a nice morning today. It feels so good after a win like that.
Yes, it does.
It does, Merrill, and it was their best game of the season, Merrill, from all perspectives. Throwing the ball, running the ball, the defense. Let's start with that run game, Merrill, which all year it just felt like it couldn't get going. And then yesterday, I could sense, I'm sure you could, I could hear it in your voice in the call, the first drive of the game, Saquon breaks it, and it felt like, all right, maybe today's going to be a different day on the ground.
Yeah, that you could see it. You could see there was daylight and some big blocks around the edge, and then he just took off. I mean, it's never been a question about Saquon. Did he lose speed? Is he not the same? That's never been the question. It's been much of it has had to do with the performance by the offensive line, and for various reasons, including injuries, of course, it hasn't been what it was last year. But yesterday there were some real big holes, and the Eagles took advantage not only with Saquon, but Tank Bigsby came in and gained 100 yards.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, I agree with you. The offensive line, it was their best game. They were dominant, and that's a good Giants front. So they pushed them around all day. But Merrill, Tank Bigsby, when they made that trade for him, about a month ago, and they gave up 2 draft picks, I was a little bit confused at why. Not that he's not a decent player, but that's not a small price to pay 2 draft picks. We only saw him as a kick returner primarily the first couple weeks, but
that clearly wasn't his thing.
Right. And Merrill, you could clearly see that he's got some juice as a runner. I think it was second and 26, and he ran for 29. That was a ridiculous run.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts had just been sacked for a loss of 21 yards, and we're figuring, well, you've got to just go long and see if you can catch somebody open. And instead, Bigsby burst around the outside and just kept going. It was amazing to pick up a first down on the ground like that.
It absolutely was. He was great. And Merrill, I think it's time to give some credit to Kevin Patullo. There was a lot of criticism, and some of it
a lot of Patullo haters out there.
Quite fair, right? The first month was choppy, and he's a new coordinator, so we're wondering what that learning curve is for him. But Merrill, there's been an adjustment here. They had that 10-day break from that first Giants game, but you kind of watched the last 2 games more under center, play action throws over the middle. There was even a halfback screen yesterday. It feels like Patullo's starting to evolve here as a play caller.
Well, let's say the offense is starting to evolve, and it takes time to develop. Kevin Patullo is a very, very bright guy. He knows football. He's been a passing coordinator for 4 years. I mean, he didn't just arrive and learn what it's like to be in the NFL. Kevin Patullo knows what he's doing, but now the offense is really starting to evolve, and then they've done a lot of different things in the last couple of weeks. Hurts is lining up under center, and that puts play action into the playbook, and a lot of good things are happening.
Merrill Reese with us here, the voice of the Eagles. Merrill, you mentioned Jalen Hurts under center. Whether it's under center or it's shotgun or pistol, the last few games have been excellent. Merrill, he's the 3rd Eagles quarterback since the merger to have a passer rating of 140-plus in back-to-back games. Only Nick Foles and Randall Cunningham did it. How about the play of Jalen Hurts? And Merrill, do you think he belongs in the midseason MVP conversation?
Absolutely. Maybe not from a numbers standpoint, but he's just a great player. He really is a great player, and we've seen that. I mean, he was the Super Bowl MVP. And before that, the Super Bowl in Arizona when they lost to Kansas City, he was still the best player in that game. So he's getting better. Here's a guy who's only 27, and he hasn't reached his peak. He is so good. He's been unappreciated by a lot of people for a long time. And I think that's unfortunate because there's never been anybody more dedicated. He's bright. He's got the arm. People question his arm strength at one point. He's got a great arm. I mean, he can throw at any point on the field, and he's one of the best deep passers in football. No, he is a great quarterback, and the Eagles are very, very fortunate to have him.
Merrill, what was your perspective on the tush push that looked like it may have been a fumble, but the whistle was blown to stop the play dead on forward progress there? Because that was still a part of the game where it was in question, right? It was a close game. It was early. Then from there, the Eagles took off and really ran away with the game. But what did you see on that one? Because it looked like a fumble, but of course they had blown the whistle, so the play has to be dead there. Obviously, Brian Daboll did not handle it very well on the sidelines.
Obviously, when the official went over and talked to Daboll and then came back and said to the crowd, and I've never heard an official give this kind of detailed explanation, he said, as I've just explained to the Giants, the play was stopped, and this is not challengeable, and that's it. And then he comes back and Dable throws the flag. And here he's already been told it's not challengeable. He throws the flag, and with it he threw away another challenge, and he threw away a timeout. That just wasn't bright.
It was not. It was a meltdown. I mean, and it summed up the day for that football team. Merrill, let's talk about the defense as well. They were great yesterday. You know, that Giants offense had played kind of well the last few weeks, including against the Eagles. Not yesterday, though. They shut them down until garbage time. I thought the pass rush, Merrill, yesterday as a collective was the best we've seen all year, especially Jalen Hurts. That may have been his best game as a pro.
Yes. They've gotten better. I still don't think they're totally there yet, but Jackson Dart is a very elusive young quarterback. They've got their guy, I think, for the next several years. I think he's got a bright future, and he's very, very mobile, but the Eagles finally did get to him, and that was good to see.
Merrill, let's end it with this. 6-2 heading into the bye. I think considering the schedule, I mean, those first 5 games were obviously challenging, and I include Denver in that. 6-2 feels like a really good spot for the Eagles to be, both in the division and then just the overall hierarchy of the NFC. And we know coming out of that bye, Merrill, that schedule's going to get tough. Green Bay, Detroit, and then a trip to Dallas right after this bye here.
Yeah, it's tough. And each week is a new challenge. In the Green Bay game, I watched the Packers last night dismantle Pittsburgh, and they are awfully good, and Jordan Love is playing at a very, very high level. So it's not going to be an easy stretch for the Eagles. But one thing I also want to point out, Joe, if I may, I have never been more proud of the Eagles fans with the class they showed, with the ovation they gave Scadaboo as he was carted off the field, the way they stood and the way they applauded. I mean, that was just pure class. So people are always talking about the Eagles fans being tough fans and how tough it is to play in Philadelphia, but they recognize talent and they recognize effort and they recognize that Cam Scadaboo is one of the best young players and he gives everything he has. And when he left, they just really cheered. And as pained as he was at the time, he waved to the crowd and thanked them. That just sent chills through everybody's body.
I agree. Well said, Merrill, and we wish him a fast recovery, and hopefully he gets back and is part of this rivalry again really soon here. Merrill, thank you for hopping on. Enjoy the bye week, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Have a good one, Merrill.
There he goes. Merrill Reese, the voice of the Eagles there.